I guess that'll probably be more of a question for Josh because I've done pretty extensive research since.
Okay. Now,
I'm a little stressed out.
Yeah.
This week, I'm going to bring you in on my consult with CNY Fertility so that you know what to expect if you decide to go through CNY yourself. If you're new here, my name's Alexandra, and I've been on an infertility journey for a couple of years now. I decided to share that journey with you so that hopefully your journey will be a little bit easier than mine. If you want to keep seeing videos like this, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time I post a new video. Before we get started, I have to let you know this is going to be a very long video. I have edited this video a little bit to redact personal information and the health history of family members. Other than that, it's all there, so it's pretty lengthy, but it's going to give you a great idea as to how the telephonic CNY consults go. All right, let's take a look. This is Alexandra. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? I've got my husband Josh on the phone too here.
Oh, absolutely. Hi there. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello. We have a consult scheduled this morning. I do see you filled out our form and you actually sent us some records. So I've reviewed that. We're going to go through like a brief summary of what you have put on your sheet, and then we'll see how we can help you, okay?
Okay.
So tell me, you said your husband's there. Can you hear me okay, sir?
Yeah.
Can you tell me your first name?
Joshua.
Joshua, okay. And how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. And do you have any children?
No.
And do you have any medical problems?
No.
Do you take any medications at all?
No.
Okay. And I saw, and I uploaded your semen analysis. Everything looked normal. Were you told otherwise?
No.
Okay. So that's good. So for you, Alexander, I have of the medical problems, Duchenne, stage 3 endo, and then what is the CRP?
Complex regional pain syndrome.
And then you said you have, now you got to help me with this, a loose flap tear repair. What was that?
Left upper extremity slap tear repair. So I had a shoulder surgery on my left shoulder.
And then you had the laparoscopy. Is that when they diagnosed the stage 3 endo?
It is, yes.
So I saw I read the op report. They took out an endometrioma. They did a cystectomy, which is taking out a cyst of the left ovary. And they, I forgot what they said they did with the endometriosis. I think they fulgurated it, which is like burning it. And then they said that your tubes were open, which was good.
Yes.
Have you ever had any miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies, anything?
No. Also, during that surgery, my GYN noted that I have clubbed fimbriae.
And do you smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, or any drugs?
I do not, no.
Is Plaquenil your only medication?
I also have, so I haven't been taking that. I had kind of an adverse reaction and I've got a lower dosage that I'm supposed to be trying, but I wanted to have our appointment first. And I also have a prescription strength vitamin D3, but other than that, and progesterone.
Yeah, I saw you have a luteal phase insufficiency. So what progesterone are you taking? Is it Prometrium?
I can grab it. It just says progesterone, 200 milligrams.
And how do you take it, oral or vaginal?
It's vaginal.
Now, all these allergies, do they all do the same thing? Tramadol, Haldol, Meclizine, Librium, Cipro?
No, they're all different.
Okay. So start with Tramadol. What does it do?
Tramadol gave me a seizure.
And do you have any mental health issues?
I do, yes.
Okay, go ahead and tell me what those are.
Just anxiety and PTSD.
I see that you've had this testing, and you also went through this fertility cloud. I read through that. Now, are they some online service, or is that what is fertility cloud?
So yes, Fertility Cloud is an online service. They try and make fertility, like certain fertility things, more accessible and more affordable. I was having issues getting my local GYN to prescribe me progesterone, so I ended up going through Fertility Cloud, and once a fertility doctor said, yeah, you definitely need this, then my doctor came around. So that's what that was.
Oh, okay, so you did get it prescribed by your GYN. Who is that OB-GYN? And what insurance do you hold? Just the name of it.
I've been through a lot of medical trauma.
And when you say medical trauma, is that from like error or just like medication induced?
So I had that seizure, it tore my shoulder up, and then March 2020, I had a surgery to repair the tears, And that surgeon accidentally injured my C5 and C6 nerves, partially paralyzing my left arm, which then was like a domino effect of other medical issues. It was a nightmare.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, one thing is literally right led to the next. Okay. And what pharmacy do you use locally where you live near your house? Okay, so now, besides Fertility Cloud, have you did your IUIs with who? A fertility center or with?
I did not have any IUIs. Both the Fertility Cloud fertility specialist said that I was not a good candidate for the IUI because of my clubbed fimbriae.
But maybe you did you do timed intercourse, maybe?
We did 3 rounds of letrozole with timed intercourse, so maybe.
So now, what was your goal with contacting us? What was your thought? And what was the next step that any of these docs have told you?
Next steps, I'm being told, are IVF. So that is our purpose for reaching out to you guys.
So what I'm going to do is I'll put into your portal what we consider preconception labs. If you've had some of these done within 6 months, then we don't have to get those done. Like if you had a complete metabolic profile, then you don't have to repeat it. So I'm going to put it on one sheet. That's lab work for you. And as far as the tubes and the saline sonogram, so let me explain the difference. So when we do it here in the office, and you can go to a radiology center as well, we put a catheter inside the uterus and we push dye, and we watch the dye come out the tube, take an x-ray picture. Then we switch the dye to saline and we push it into the uterus and we look to make sure there's no polyps or fibroids. So if that hasn't been done within a year, that needs to be done. And that can also be done there in Florida. If you drive to our Sarasota office, they can do everything but a retrieval right now.
Okay, now with the one that I had with my surgery count, because that was just in October.
Yes, if you want to just like say, I will decline the HSG, we can use that.
Okay.
I'm going to say that you're going to do the SIS, which is the saline one, that needs to be done. And then, when was Joshua's semen analysis done?
Josh, do you know?
Don't remember.
He doesn't remember.
Looks like it was November. We'll need that again. So now, let's talk about what we would do for you going forward. So today's the initial consult, obviously with me, the doc. Then you'll have a follow-up call from today. That will be with a nurse practitioner in 1 to 3 weeks. They just follow up saying, okay, you went through the have you guys decided to proceed? They'll talk about finances. They'll talk about a protocol. You and I today are going to talk about what we do prior to retrieval. As I said, the preconception lab is important. We're going to skip the HSG, but do the SIS, and then Joshua's semen analysis. On our website, it is full of resources. We really are partnered with the keto diet, which is an anti-inflammatory diet. If you can't do keto, we talk about keto light or Mediterranean. Is your diet habits pretty good?
We're kind of trying to figure out what is wrong with my GI system. They think that it's the Behçet's, and I also have a little bit of endometriosis that's left on my bowels. That's probably what's causing it. But a lot of my food issues did come after I had COVID 2 years ago. So I eat very healthy, but a lot of those diets I'm unable to follow because my body rejects so many different types of foods.
Okay, so then maybe, we have to figure out what is the right diet for you. Anti-inflammatory, really, you gotta avoid sugar. That's the main thing.
Okay.
Do the diet which works for you, but avoiding sugar. And sugar comes in the simple sugars like cookies, cakes, candies, that kind of stuff. But it also comes in the not so obvious, the tortillas, the bread, the pasta, those break down to simple sugar. So avoiding those is super important. Now, supplements. You're only 31, but we do advise, like you said, you have that high dose
I guess that'll probably be more of a question for Josh because I've done pretty extensive research since I don't love medical things and this is a big medical thing, so I've kind of researched it to the ends of the world.
Well, what about you, Josh? Do you want me to go through an overview for you?
Yeah, sure.
So what we do when we do IVF is we must stimulate Alexander's ovaries to produce as many follicles. These are the little homes that the eggs live in. And we make these follicles grow with injectable medication. So letrozole is an oral medication, but for IVF, we want to use the injectables because they can increase more follicles and at a higher rate. So these injections, either you give yourself, Alexander, or Josh, and we talk to give to you in the fat of the tummy, and you do that daily. Now, you will need a monitoring center because you're going to be in that monitoring center every 2 to 3 days. Okay? Now, when you go to the monitoring, they do two things. They monitor your ovaries with ultrasound, and they take blood work from you. We watch these follicles grow. When most of them get to a good size, then we will give you a different injection to trigger you to ovulate. That releases the egg into the fluid, and it makes it nice and easy for us to retrieve when you get close to that. Now, if Sarasota is open, you'll go to Sarasota. You guys will go together because you will go to sleep, Alexandra. It is what's called MAC, Monitored Anesthesia Care. You'll get propofol, like Decadron, Zofran, stuff like that, fentanyl. It's about a 20-minute procedure where you'll go to sleep, and then they'll go through the vagina to do the retrieval, and then they'll let you know when you wake up how many eggs were retrieved. Now, Josh, you're going to produce their sample, so then they'll use that sample to fertilize those eggs, and the next day when you're back home, they will let you know how many fertilized, then we wait for them to grow to day 5. Now, the transfer is much easier. The transfer, you'll get medication orally, which is estrogen, and vaginally, and it will build that lining nice and thick. But then we need to stabilize that, and because you're not producing progesterone, we have to give it to you. Now, it's vaginal progesterone like you're on already, but we also give an intramuscular in the butt injection of progesterone. And that will continue until about 10 weeks of pregnancy.
Question about that. Is that given by you, or am I giving myself a butt shot?
Give it to yourself daily.
Okay. Oh, daily.
Teach you how you kind of like twist a little bit and give it. If you can't do that, then Josh needs to be taught how to do it in the upper outer quadrant of the butt. And then the transfer is just a few minutes. It takes just a few minutes to come in. We don't typically give anything. Some people really do need a Valium, but most people don't. I would say 95% people don't. And the transfer is, a relatively quick procedure. You just lay there for about 5 minutes, and then you can go home. You come with a full bladder, get your transfer, go home.
Okay.
And then we wait 10 days for your pregnancy test, okay? I know there's a lot there, but what you'll get when we start this process is a correspondence sheet. You're going to print that off your portal and stick it on your fridge. It will tell you what to do every single day. It tells you what meds to take orally, what meds to put vaginally, what meds to take by injection. And then it also tells you when you're going to show up for your monitoring.
Okay, every 2 to 3 days I'm going to be monitored for what period of time?
So it depends on how fast you stimulate. Some people take 7, some people take 10 days, some people take 12, some people take 14. So within 2 weeks.
Okay, about 2 weeks.
You're high AMH, and they said that you're not a PCOS patient, so I'm not sure how you're going to stimulate. We'll have to wait and see.
I can say my body responded really well to the letrozole. It obviously didn't work because we never got pregnant, but my ovaries were doing things.
That's good. Now, did you get trigger with those?
No.
So you might not have ovulated on time, or they may have mistimed you might have mistimed the intercourse. So trigger is important because it really will give us, we know we're going to do your retrieval within 24 to 36 hours after that trigger.
Okay, now are you guys able to recommend a place where I can go every 2 to 3 days? I know my GYN's office might be able to do that, but in the past they have not been super easy to work with because they don't typically do this.
Yeah, you don't want to go to someone who doesn't typically do it because they will give us the wrong amount of information on your ovary, and we won't really know what we're going to be retrieving. So you want to go to a fertility center. So on our website there's a map, and you can hover over Florida and see the other fertility monitoring centers that have been listed. separate from the cost of IVF with us.
Right. Okay.
So if you hover over that and go to Florida and see what's closest to you, you'll be able to find something.
I know on your website you've got different levels of, or different protocols. I am wondering, I know typically with like most people you would probably start with the first protocol, but I'm wondering if I would be able to start with the autoimmune one since I already have an autoimmune condition.
So are you talking about the stimulation medications or the immune protocols?
Oh boy, I guess I don't know.
I think you're talking about immune protocols, which I would at least start with the level 2 with you, not even level 1. We potentially might do level 3. What they have in there are different meds. So like, for example, let's just say level 2 has baby aspirin, prednisone, an antibiotic, an antihistamine, intralipids to bring down inflammation, and Lovenox for any blood clotting. Level 3 is quite a lot. It adds in the Plaquenil, the Neupogen, the HCG boosters, a wash of the uterus to kind of prep it. And then 4 is like a lot. I mean, it's quite expensive, so I don't know if you would want to go that far. I think immune protocol 2 would be plenty for you. And then once they, potentially just add maybe Plaquenil to the immune protocol 2 since you're on it or we're on it.
We would just want to have our best chances of success the first time around. So if we need to come out guns a-blazing with my medications, we'll do that. But whatever you think is best.
I'll put here immune protocol 2 with Plaquenil. But if you look through those immune protocols and say, no, I want to move to potentially do 3, we can discuss it with the doc who's actually going to be overseeing your treatment.
Okay, perfect.
And our immune protocol is either Plaquenil or Prograf. So Plaquenil isn't where we'll do the Prograf.
Thank you. And are these the questions that are okay to be asking during this appointment?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I don't know it, I'll ask the other doc that's here, so you can shoot away.
And you said the nurse will cover costs and payment stuff during that appointment,
Well, not the nurse, but she will connect you to the finance team. But they're not located where I am. I'm in Buffalo, New York, in Syracuse, which is where you're going to get they're called our global team.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nurse practitioner that will call you from there, and then you ask her, can I get to the finance team, which is there as well.
Okay. The egg retrieval, is it done at would it be done at the Sarasota clinic or is it done at a local hospital?
Sarasota's open, yes, because they're up and running for everything and it's all being built out, but sometimes there's delays. They're saying about 3 months, but I'm not sure. Also, when the Syracuse nurse calls you, she'll have a better update on the status of the Sarasota office. Then you'll know, okay, do I want to hold off and wait until I can go to Sarasota, or do I want to go up to one of the centers in New York?
Question on that, what would your opinion be for a time frame with this? Because I had my endometriosis removal in October. They didn't get everything, but he did the best that he could. He was not a specialist. I did see a specialist and she said that it was the best surgery she's ever seen done by a non-specialist. So there's that.
Okay.
But it is, obviously it grows back. So what would, in your opinion, be the best time to get started with IVF? Do we risk too much by waiting? Do you think it would be okay to wait?
Endometriosis comes back and it's an inflammatory condition. And we know we're going to bypass your tube, so the clubbed fimbriae, which is likely from your endo, we're not going to worry about. But the endo inflammatory state, we always say to get pregnant within the 6 months to a year after surgery. So I would. Has your pain returned?
It never really went away because he wasn't able to remove all of it. He unstuck my bowels from my abdominal wall, but he was not able to remove the endo off of my bowels. And there's a couple of places where if he was more specialized, he could have done a better job of removing it. But the endometriosis specialist, she did say that in her opinion, it should be cleaned out enough that I should be good to progress. She doesn't see a reason where I would need another surgery at this point unless I wanted it.
That's good then. So then I think that as soon as possible would be the best opinion I can give you, because we just don't want to wait and have any other endo come back and affect the actual implantation rate of the embryo. So it's July 26th. You're going to be getting a cycle now in August. Your first month, it's August, is going to be a workup cycle. The soonest you can start would be September. So you're looking at
Yes, that's correct. October 3rd was my surgery.
Yeah, so, at the minimum, we're looking at doing it in September for your retrieval. So I would hope that if it's not open, then you maybe potentially could fly up to one of the New York centers. But if it's a month away from there, I would say, oh, hold off, wait for Sarasota. But if they say, okay, it's an additional 3 months or 6 months, I'd say no, come up to one of the New York centers.
Okay, and now if I, let's say I go up to one of the New York centers to do that, and then the Sarasota office opens, could I move my care to the Sarasota office?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you say, you did your whole retrieval and you're like, okay, I've got 10 embryos now, you can transfer your embryos to Sarasota, and then I'll do all your transfers in Sarasota.
So we are planning on doing frozen transfers because we want to do the genetic testing. Is there anything you can think of that we should know?
So then with PGT, you would take those embryos have to go to day 5. Like you said, they have to be frozen because the biopsy is taking place on day 5 and they send the biopsies out. So the embryos will remain in Syracuse. The biopsies will get tested. The report is mostly for genetics, and then they do a gender selection on there as well, so that they will let you know the gender of those embryos as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So what will happen next is I'll send this over to Syracuse, and then please look at each of your portals for what's been ordered, and then the website for the diet, the supplements, the acupuncture, and depending on what your new AMH is when it's redrawn, I will come up with a probable protocol for you, but that might change given your result of your AMH. And then when they call you, they'll get, answer the finance, order your meds, and then you discuss about the Sarasota office, okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect. Well, it's nice talking to both of you.
You as well. And if I have any questions about the medications, who do I contact for that?
So the global team will give you their contact information, and then always you have your portal access to those teams.
Okay, got it.
And you will get correspondence sheet. Did I go through that with you? You'll get a correspondence sheet that tells you everything that's going to be done every day.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Yeah. So that will be really nice to print out and keep.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy your day.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No problem. Take care.
You too. Bye.
That was a lot of information.
Do you learn things?
Yeah.
I'm a little stressed out.
Yeah. Want me to boop it?
Yeah. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Thanks for watching. Bye!